And Explain Strange is a part of Slap Recon, which is on YouTube. So, and I will be your host. I am Slap. So, what we're going to do here is we're going to have a podcast where we're going to invite different people to come in and give us their stories of anything haunted, horror tales, ghost stories, ghost hunts, psychics, mediums, and whatnot. If you're involved in that field or have an interest in that field, you might want to stick to this podcast. Today, I'm going to give you just an intro. This is going to be the intro podcast. After that, I will be having the episodes. I'll tell you what the episode is in just a few minutes, so stand by. You got about 7 to 10 minutes right here with this, so stand by. 1. Strange definition is odd, unusual, extraordinary, in appearance, effect, manner, etc. Peculiar, not known, seen, experienced before. So it's kind of like something that you just don't understand. That's my personal interpretation of strange. So in this podcast, I developed this to explain the different strange. Anything that's strange, it doesn't matter what it is, but we're going to kind of stick more paranormal aspect and ghosts and haunts, and we'll explain these things. And I'm going to be inviting guests to come out and do this. This podcast is developed for you as a listener. Those of you who know and are into the field, it's developed for you guys, for you to come on the show. We'll put you in here and I'll let you explain your experiences. And I'll tell you what, you can also explain the tools, like for you ghost hunters. I know there's several of you out there, and you can explain the tools that you use. Tell us what tools is best suited for your team, and tell us where your team's from and whatnot. So if you're have an interest in coming on the show and doing that, feel free to just contact me at my email address. And you should find it if you go to my Facebook, which will be Slap Recon. That's it, Slap Recon. That's our Facebook. That's where you'll find us, and that's where you'll find all the information that you need to find about this podcast, and where you can give all the information that you want to give or tell me what you know. So any and all topics strange will be considered for this podcast. And we'll go as far as UFOs. And down here south in Texas, we don't have any real problems with Bigfoot or anything like that. So I don't know if that's going to be something people will be bringing up. So again, I don't know. So if you have stories to tell or an experience that you've gone through, even as a child, that's fine. It would be nice for you to come through and tell us, give us your story, tell us what you went through, or tell us what you know about some of this stuff. And if you're a medium or or psychic or somebody who has this talent or whatnot, and you know more or less, you can sense different things. So there's people that can, and I mean you might be intuitive, and if you are, then that's fine. I would like for you to come on this podcast. This podcast is going to try to air. We'll try to do this thing probably every week and a half or 2 weeks. I won't be shooting for every week, but we will try to shoot at least twice a month if we can. Because I do have a YouTube channel that I do run. So, and that's under Slap Recon. But this will be showing on my YouTube also. So it will be on YouTube under Slap Recon. Explain Strange, okay? So I hope you'll join us and stick with us, follow us, and join in. Most important thing is I want you to join in. I really need you guys to come in and join this. And I hope you're going to enjoy this podcast. I hope it's going to be for you. And you might find some very interesting topics here. I've met some very interesting people. I've met some ghost teams already. I've gone out and met some, gone out of town to meet them. And very interesting. One of the best ones, the most interesting people that I met in that field was the Ghost Brothers. I met Dalen Spratt and his team, and Marcus and Joanne, and they're very interesting people. I mean, very down to earth. If you've never met them, I suggest that when you see them come to a city near you, I highly suggest that you make it a point to see them. If you have an interest in this field. With that, just want to mention what this podcast is going to be about and introduce myself. But there's also one other person. Slap isn't the only guy here. I have Bones is back there. That's Bones. Bones is the one that usually operates the YouTube channel, the vlogs. Yeah, he's a guy that he's very sneaky. He comes in once in a while. Sometimes you don't see him. Sometimes you do. In fact, he went with me to. We went to Ballinger, Texas, and he went with me to visit with the Ghost Brothers. And I met some teams out there, and he had a good time. So we met some teams out there. I think maybe not, but I do hope and plan that they will come aboard and be part of this podcast and give me some insight and kind of show us more or less or talk to us about what they use in as their tools and whatnot, and the interesting places they've been to. Because there's a lot of people that I did meet that they've gone to some very interesting places. I mean, they've gone around across. We're talking about across the United States. I mean, we're not just talking here in Texas. I am based in Texas. I'm in Houston. And we're talking about people. I got people that are lined up on my YouTube channel, and they're from New York up there, Maine, Michigan, Oklahoma. I got a lot of people in Oklahoma. Some in Marshall, Texas. I got people from all over the place. So they some of these people, they go out and they do their own hunts and join other teams and whatnot. So I think it would be nice for us to get some of them to come on here and tell their experiences as to where they have been, what haunted hospitals or what haunted places they've seen, and what did they pick up while they were there. And if you've never done a ghost hunt before, I think this would be the one show that's going to give you a lot of information on what's in store if you ever decided to do it. And right now we're in the month of October, but we're kind of close to the end of October. So that's okay. We're gonna keep doing this through through the year, no matter what. And as far as it doesn't have to be October season for us to keep this podcast going, because strange can be anything. It doesn't have to be necessarily haunted and all that. We can bring up other topics that are strange. If it's strange to you, it's strange to me, then it has to be in this podcast. I mean, it just has to. We have to explain it. We have to figure a way to explain it, because that's what we're going to do, or that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to let you come out here and you're going to explain it. Make sure you've done all your research and you know basically what you're going to say is pretty legit. So now the other thing, our number one podcast number one for Explain Strange, is going to be coming out. I'm going to try to invite somebody to come on with me to do that. And the topic on that one is going to be dreaming the dead. And that means that people who have dreamt, people that have passed. Let's say for myself, my parents are gone. I have a brother who's gone. I have some close friends who's gone. I was a veteran, so I have some really good friends that are gone. And I noticed I've been dreaming these people, and a lot more than I have in the past. And I'm just kind of wondering what that means. What does it actually mean? So it's strange to me to be dreaming certain people, and sometimes two or three of them at the same time in the same room, and we're all in the same room, and I'm wondering, man, why am I dreaming these guys? And I mean, I can kind of understand parents maybe sometimes. I mean, you miss your parents, and that's just what it is. But I mean, there's some friends that, man, I haven't heard from in a long time, but they passed on, and I've dreamt them. So topic is going to be dreaming the dead. And if you have an interesting story on something like that, you can easily enter that in my Gmail, my email, and tell me your story. And if you don't mind, if you think it's okay, I'll mention your story, but briefly. But I will mention your name and where you're from. And I think that would be something good, that you can give your story, because it would be so nice to compile all these different stories into one podcast, and we'll see how many people are actually going through this, because it's going to be very surprising to me if I am the only one dreaming this. So I'm kind of like hoping that's not the case, but whether it be or whether it not be, that will be the next topic. And I'm going to end this topic now. It was only an introduction just to let you know what we're all about, what we're going to do, and who I am and who he is. And you'll be seeing a lot of Bones. So get to know him. I think I'm going to get him his own fan club because he has a lot of people that ask about him. And I know that sounds funny, but no, it's true. He has a lot of people that ask about him. There was people that missed him when we went out there to Ballinger, and everybody was out there when we met the Ghost Brothers. And it was kind of weird. A bunch of people didn't know that I had him with me in my vehicle. And then when we conversed later on, they got him on YouTube and everything and found out that he was there. They were like, "Oh my God, I missed Bones. I didn't know he was going to be there." I did say he was going, but it's okay. Bones, he'll be around again, and we'll make other travels. We definitely will, and you'll have a chance to see him. Also on my YouTube, I do go out and I video different restaurants. I do I've been doing Comic Cons, which I never really did that before. But one of my sons, he told me, "Dad, you got to try these things." So I started doing it. I met a lot of people in that too. So, I mean, it's pretty interesting. You see all these big time people like the Kane Hollers, the wrestlers, or the movie stars that are in some of these movies. I even saw the cast of the Night of the Living Dead. I mean, the first version. And they were there at one time. I mean, on one of them that I went to, and I thought that was great. I didn't talk to too many of them, but I did meet a lot of interesting people. So you might want to go to Slap Recon YouTube and follow that page and see some of the stuff that I actually do and some of the people that I actually have gone out and seen. I even got the Ghost Brothers on there. And me and Dalen Spratt, we kind of hit it off real good. So you never know, man. I'm going to get with him. I'm going to see if what he has information for me that may or may not be pertinent to this podcast. So I should have done it already, but we will get in touch with him. But also, I am planning on reaching out to different guests that you've seen on TV. Trust me, you probably have seen them, probably, depending on what channels you watch. But we're going to try to see if we can reach out and see if they wouldn't mind popping in here and, giving a little, story, background, or, just say hi. It's okay with me. Okay, that's going to wrap up this Slap Recon's first episode of Explain Strange, her intro episode of Explain Strange. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate you, and I'm going to really need to see you in the future. And do me a favor, when you go to the YouTube, be sure and friend me and subscribe to that channel because that's where you're going to be seeing a lot of this. And you'll be seeing a lot of you if you decide to come on board. And those of you from Marshall, Texas, and the ones in Oklahoma, I know who you are, so link up. Let's do this together. I know some of y'all want to get in this, and I think it was, and I'm going to say it, the Spirit Seekers. Now I remember. I didn't want to say it wrong, but I know that's the name of it, of one of the teams. So hopefully you guys follow along, stick with us, and hey, let's get on to the next episode and get ready to film it, and we'll have some interesting stuff, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy it. Thanks a lot for joining Slap Recon, and I will see you on the next haunt. Boo you later.